previous to kind of being a full-time professor, I had worked as a practitioner full-time for almost 20 years. That sounds like a lot. But yeah, just to kind of go through the areas. I was an advertising major, and then had made the decision that I wanted to work a bit in the sales area. Like many students, I wasn't quite sure when I was finishing my degree exactly what my path was, and I became aware of this kind of like media sales as a thing. And so I spent a chunk of time my first job was actually at Clear Channel Radio, where I was an account executive for Mix 96.5, and later I managed that radio station as a VP. Many years later, at a different under different ownership, and spent a time as a national rep in print at Hearst, the Houston Chronicle, as well as kind of went into the digital space there. That was kind of when Cron.com was one of the early early newspaper properties that invested heavily in digital, and we functioned as an in-house agency there, so I learned a lot. And so when I finished business school, I was recruited to CBS. And so I was at CBS Radio, mostly in the radio division, some television, some radio, but mostly radio, in Houston mostly, some in Dallas. But I was there for about 8 years, and my last chunk there, I was a vice president in charge of the 100-person sales organization for the Houston market. So I actually was on the team, a very small team that did the marketing research and station flip from Hot 95.7 to 95.7 The Spot. So that kind of new radio station, if you like it. I picked the logo color because it's a small team that kind of works on, we did the research to uncover that. And then about that time is when I started transitioning into teaching more. I ran a female and minority-owned advertising agency for 3 years.
Wow.
And then, but more recently, just doing only, much more limited, only on a part-time basis, doing some consulting under Clever Cat Consulting for a couple, really mostly kind of my previous clients. I work a little bit at a nonprofit. I run a think tank in the area of marketing organization. So the kind of management of marketing groups, the trade organization is called MMA Global in New York. So work with some very famous researchers there. Some of the work is published in the Harvard Business Review. And so that's kind of that's a quick background on my practitioner work there.